we don't have nearly the wealth of knowledge, experience, really much of anything that the hosts for the live stream about Gods and Magic did.
Because they work for Paizo.
Yes. I think that they would know this information even if they didn't. They seemed really excited about it.
That's true.
Here's the thing.
We can edit our videos. I have the ability to not only make this video informative, but to make it shorter. So that is what we're offering you here and now.
Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Jake.
It's okay, so my brain cues off of the word indigo. It doesn't cue off of the end of
Here, how's this? I got an idea. Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Jake, formerly known Indigo.
I don't like it. My name is Krug, and today we're here to talk to you about... Oh, Jesus, not the Lost Omens.
Yes, Lost
Omens.
Lost Omens, Gods and Magic.
I was going to say Lost Omens World Guide, and then I was going to say Lost Omens Character Guide. Both of those things are wrong, even though they're actually things.
Yes, those books have already come out.
Yes.
We are piecemealing some content from all of those. I got to be honest with you, the speed in which content comes out of Paizo right now is like...
It's aggressive.
We're going to be talking about the new book, Gods and Magic, which doesn't come out until January 29th.
Glad you knew that.
They published a live stream on January 10th where they went over a lot of the content in the book. We're basically culminating all of that information and shortening it and bringing it to you in little popcorn fashion.
The YouTube fashion, if you will.
Yes, or the TikTok fashion.
Don't.
Krug has a TikTok. You should check it out.
I don't, and I quit. I'm done. Table. I can't even flip this table if I wanted to. It's so heavy.
So the two hosts we had was Eleanor and Luis.
Yes. And you were right. They were very excited about the subject matter and very knowledgeable about the subject matter. Very refreshing. It just seemed like there were two people that like Pathfinder. Just doing the stream. And I was like, oh.
Before we even dig into the content inside the book is that this is the first time that they've actually changed their style in which they do their covers. Normally, all of their covers are such and such character fighting such and such big monster.
Yeah.
That is it. They basically said, hey, we're going to be using this as a means to experiment with how our covers are going to be. Yes, we want you to be able to see and understand that it's a Pathfinder 2nd edition book on the shelf, but we don't want to always just do big monster person fighting, right? What they've done is they've actually taken the book and they have the first ever depiction of the Starstone. Do you know what the Starstone is?
I don't.
An asteroid came down, dude touched the rock, turned into a god, built a city, built this giant cathedral. If you as a person touch the Starstone, you will become a deity. And it's this like jagged stone, and then there's just a pile of dead bodies underneath.
Oh no!
And they're all just like trying to touch it. The three current deities in which they have touched them is Kalian, Iomade.
Iomade? What's the E in the middle? Iomide. I don't know. Okay, whatever. And then...
Norgorbur. Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like the Swedish chef.
It does!
Now, that is just the cover. Once you get into the book, they go over the 20 main deities of Golarion. And they go in depth, very in depth.
Yeah.
This is artwork for each one of them, or at least for the 20. It's not just like, oh, here is the god, but like there is some like additional artwork of like how that character is portrayed in art in society. A lot of them have stories behind them.
This isn't just a mechanical table like it is in the core.
Exactly.
In the,
core rulebook.
Thanks.
The
core player's rulebook handbook.
Nope. They also have what they're calling as other deities, but I am calling them lesser deities. But they're the same status considered. But there's 20 additional deities. They don't go as in depth into them as much, but they're still there.
And they have their mechanical things listed. Like you can pick them if you have this book. And
Oh boy! We haven't gotten there yet, but there is a lot to go in there. Before we get into that aspect, there's, I guess it's kind of a good way to go into the next piece is, there's actually some player options within this book. For example, there are new backgrounds. The main background, at least the background that they talked about, whether there are additional backgrounds past that, they kept a lot of stuff close to the chest because they were like, yo, you want to learn this? Buy the book. Fair.
Yeah.
So the main one that they talked about is called Raised by Belief. Growing up, you had a religious background, right?
Sure.
Of some sort of deity that your family worshipped.
Yeah.
Now, normally how it works is it says, oh, you have X background, so you get to get this bonus or this one.
Yeah.
Like this one, it's based off of the deity.
Ooh.
So it's raised by belief, and then every single deity
gets their own little thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to just do, I'm a generic holy person. A background that says, no, for my whole life, not just because I'm a champion of Iomade or whatever. I should have picked one that I could pronounce. I'm not a religious person just because I happen to now be a champion of Cayden Cailean, right? I've been a follower of Cayden Cailean from the beginning of my life, and this is how that has affected me. It's not the same as any other deity. If your family is a devout follower of a deity, that is completely different than any other deity in the game. And yeah, some of them are close. There's 40 of them in this book alone. 90% of them are wildly different from one another.
There's more than 40.
Oh God, oh no!
I'm curious to find out if there's like an individual lore slash feat.
The lore is probably the name of the deity lore, and then the feat is probably generic for all of them. I doubt that it's different.
I don't
know.
Maybe
if it's like, I don't know. There's tons of options I could go with there. Yeah. Now that we're diving into the mechanical side of things, we should talk about curses and boons, because curses and boons are exactly what I personally have wanted from like the RPG Pantheon system for a very long time. A written mechanical way to describe how the deity helps just like an individual, like how the deity's miracles are manifest in the world. These are so good. Okay, so there's obviously a positive and a negative one, right?
Curse would be the negative, yep. Boon would be the positive.
It's just a tool for the GM. And the ones that are written in the book aren't the like end of the road, right? It's not like whenever I do a boon, it's always this one thing and it can't be anything else. No, but it's a really great place for GMs to read and start understanding how the deity is designed to behave and then come up with your own from there, or use the one that's in the book. Either way, it is a wonderful resource, I think.
Well, and there are also tiers to them. There's a lesser boon, there is a medium boon, and then there is a greater boon. Like there's a major boon. And so the idea behind it is like, oh, hey, I noticed you pray every day. I noticed you're not a cleric. I noticed that you're not a champion of my faith. But you know what? You wake up every day, you pray.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I appreciate that.
Today, here's a gift.
Yeah.
Should you really, as a cleric, lose 100% of your powers?
No.
It seems a little extreme.
Exactly.
And so the idea behind it would be like, okay, well, you're a follower. You gain. I've bestowed upon you the powers, and you have gone astray. Should I just completely exile you from the church? No. You should get a curse.
The flip side of the coin is like, oh, you just killed 3 of my champions, and no other deity is protecting you from me. There's going to be a major curse. Let's give some examples of them.
Okay. One of the curses that they mentioned is for Cayden Cailean. The idea of Cayden Cailean is that you celebration, you're hanging out, whatever. Well, you know what? You've behaved badly. You deserve a slight curse. So everything that you drink tastes foul. And I think that's hilarious.
I love that. The flip side is also equally hilarious. If you do something that makes Cayden puts a little smile on his face, he can give you a minor boon, which is you don't get hungover.
Yeah.
You can I want you to go celebrate, and I want you to go balls to the wall, enjoy not being hungover the next morning.
I like that.
That's great.
And it's just like small stuff. And I will tell you, and I don't think that this is unfair to tell you, because I will tell everyone this. Once this book is in my hands, I am going to heavily be using this on Court of Corvids.
First of all, and I don't want to sound like a dick.
Okay.
I know.
There isn't a mechanical, you're guaranteed to get X boon or curse.
It is literally GM. It is entirely GM, the whim of the GM. Although, I will say, Wish Spell, grant me a boon. I think that's a reasonable use of the wish spell, to wish for a boon. Leave it up to the GM to decide how the boon works, because that's always been a link that's missing in Wish, in my opinion, is you can wish for it to replicate another spell. That's so flavorless. But now that this system is here, you can just be like, boon me! And they'll be like, okay, boon!
Yeah, going back into gods, we're going to be gaining additional demigods that are out there. We're also
Krug.
We're also going to be going over different forms in which faith are observed.
Okay.
So some of them are totems.
Oh.
So the idea behind totems being totems that oversee different things like the grass being grown, the sun, the wind, horses, different totems and different ways in which you can show your faith. Everyone doesn't go to a church and praise to that specific god.
Which I've always found annoying. Like, not that I have a problem with, like, people, you know, feeling more comfortable with that sort of representation of religion, but, like, it's nice to have diversity because it's an entire world that we're talking about, and it's in a completely different universe. Like, why is it so relatable, you know?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of increasing diversity, time and change are both going to be new domains added to the game.
I dig it.
Super down, too.
We're also getting some more character useful things in the form of spells. There's going to be 6 pages of new spells. We don't know what they are yet. We do know that there are going to be no new cantrips, unfortunately. So if you're missing something cantripy, you're not going to find it in this book. I don't know what they're going to add because there's a lot of spells.
There's a lot of spells. I mean, 6 pages of spells doesn't sound like a bunch, especially if they're counting like, here's the first page, which is just the name of the spell and the level, and then here's the larger description of the spell. We're going to have additional feats. We don't know how many more feats that we're going to get. We're also going to get...
Like general feats or class feats?
They just said feats.
That's not descriptive enough.
By the book. The last kind of character-specific thing that they have is that there's going to be new magical items added to there as well. Faith, religion-based, like, specific weapons
magic beads or something.
I mean, magic beads, but some of the things that they're talking about is like, there's a specific deity that's all about, like, technology. Well, we don't want to put, like, computers in the game, so the idea is that you have a weapon that has the ability to be all of the different types of, you know, damage types. We've mentioned it a bunch already, and we were saying, there's a lot more than the 40 gods, the 20 main and the 20. Yeah. There is a 10-page appendix at the very back of the book, 10 pages, that has over 100 deities that aren't mentioned in the 40.
Jesus.
Yeah.
With, like, mechanical things in them?
So the idea is it's their god, their alignment, their favored weapon, their allotted alignment for followers, like, and then like their domain, like the basic, like, here is the just bare bones facts that you need to have.
And then like fill it out in your campaign. You're a GM, come up with some cool stuff.
Iomade, that's mainstream. Like,
I follow Gluzagub.
Well, funny you mentioned Gluzagub. They actually go into some of the nihilistic gods, like the elder gods, like the otherworldly gods. And one of the things that they thought was that they talked about and kind of came up in the Q&A section of the episode.
Oh, dang it.
Nope, I'm not wearing my Cthulhu hat. They don't have anathema. Because
they don't care.
They don't care
about
whatever
you want. Yeah,
exactly.
I love that.
They're like, oh, you're benefiting us? Cool.
Yeah.
If you want to get the book, it's in PDF and in hard copy versions of it. Hit up either your local game store or go online and buy it straight from Paizo. Those are the only 2 places I encourage you to buy this book. I mean, don't use Amazon. Fuck those guys. Want to help create and shape how that world is created. You want to interact with some of the players that are on the show.
If you want Krug to punch you in the face until you die, you can come and do that on that server. Are the characters in the roleplay server ever going to eclipse the main cast in level?
It's very possible.
Shit. I love all of you. Please help me.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, though, because it would have to happen. That's a good math question that I'm not going to do here, but I will do off camera. And then not let you know because I will be the only one that knows that. But, so yeah, you can take part of that. Basically, that is something that I've been kind of doing off to the side and kind of getting to run. We have a bunch of GMs. I think the idea in the future would be that we would have a higher tier that would allow you to guarantee you live games, but we basically want to see how this works and see how well we can support this before we try to overextend ourselves and say, we guarantee you we're going to, and then we can't accomplish that. So we want to kind of take baby steps, see how this works.
Tiny bites.
Yeah. Does this work? Is people enjoying this? Do they want more? Cool. Let's figure out the next step for that.
Yep.
And go from there. That's kind of all I got. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, but I can tell you that you can reach out to me if you want to talk to me at QueueTimes on Twitter.
You can talk to me on Twitter at IndigoQT. And if you want to talk to any of us at QueueTimes, there's all of these social medias. We've already talked about Patreon.
This Discord's free. You don't have to pay to join this one.
Yeah, that one's the freezy
This
Discord.
is just the one where we just like talk and shoot the shit and play video games and stuff.
There's also like an Indigo web where I send all of my inappropriate things.
We've been GameGorgon. Don't go to the Indigo web. We'll see you guys next time if we don't get demonetized out of existence. Bye!